Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 20th through April 26th. And during that time, we'll have a waning gibbous moon. It'll move into the last quarter moon on the 21st and then the waning crescent. And that last quarter moon energy is a really good time for reflection, releasing what no longer serves you, and preparing for new beginnings. So, a good time to kind of let go, take responsibility for things that have been going on in the past, and move forward with a clear vision. Then, of course, the waning crescent is a good time for surrender, rest, and healing as we get ready for that new cycle. So pay attention to those moon energies as you're moving through your week. And let's see. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter this week, Taurus. So please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message card this week is you're very close to achieving your goal. All right, let's see what the Taurus collective has going on this week. And Taurus, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, all I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel, and it's super, super easy for you to do. I'll give you just a moment for you to do that right now. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community here. I'm starting to see repeating, faces coming back, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you so, so much. And my fun reminder for this week is to get out in nature this week. Take a walk, maybe get out in the woods and take a walk, find a beautiful park or an area with a lovely view, and just take the time to really stop and connect with the miracle of nature. Maybe study a tree a little bit longer than you would, or the birds, maybe feed birds. That's one of my things. I love feeding birds. It's insane because they're just the cutest creatures. Oh, but yeah, listen to some water. If you're lucky enough to be by the ocean or a creek or, somewhere where you can hear water, just close your eyes, connect, and enjoy. So, just my little reminder for this week. All right, Taurus, April 20th through the 26th. You are very close to achieving your goal. All right, present energy, Taurus, Ace of Pentacles. So, looks like something's coming in for you. This could be a new financial opportunity, a new job for some of you. Or just money coming in. Maybe you've got a tax return on your way, that sort of thing. Just there's some new money just coming into your situation, and just be really focused on what you want to do with that new opportunity. Take look at short term, look at long term, and just take the time to know that that's excuse you coming in. Excuse me, let me grab a drink. Coming in for you, and what do you want to do with that new opportunity? Don't squander it. Make sure that you're using that very, very wisely. Your current situation is there's something here with this Ten of Swords that you're done with. So you're kind of moving out of some energy where you're done, and maybe it is something financial. Maybe you're just like, ugh, I'm done dealing with this. Maybe you're going to find an easier way to deal with your finances or something, but there's some new opportunity that's maybe helping you, and it could be that you're done with it because this money's coming in. It's an opportunity to just kind of put something else aside and be done with it, which is great. At the root of your situation is the Emperor. So here is our card of leadership and getting things done. This is taking care of business. This is a very Taurus energy to me. I know this is the card of Aries, I believe. I really need to learn the astrology of the tarot better. It's very hard for me to remember those, but I do get this Tauruses that I know have been very like they just take care of things, get things done. When it's time to buckle down and work, it's time to do that, and that could be a time for you right now that you're just feeling that it's time to buckle down, get some things accomplished. In your recent past is the Hermit card, so you're coming out of a time where you've been doing some inner searching and inner thinking and just kind of relying on your wisdom and maybe asking yourself those questions that leads to an ending. Like, when you do that kind of deep inner searching, sometimes it leads to kind of making conclusions that like, oh, I need to give this thing up. This thing needs to go away. I need to do this a different way in my life. So it kind of leads to new beginnings. And that also means letting things go. What is on your mind this week is the King of Pentacles. So here you are with this Ace of Pentacles, and maybe you are thinking more long term, and you're thinking, here comes this new money in, and maybe I will do something that's that is a little more, in the building and the I guess authoritarian kind of is the energy that I'm kind of coming in here with this Emperor card, that you would make the adult decision. you so instead of taking new money and thinking, let's go to Vegas, let's party, let's do this vacation thing. It's like, no, this Emperor says with this new financial opportunity that comes in, let's be responsible. Let's let go of that old way of being here, and let's be very responsible. You were just thinking about that in this Hermit energy, and the King of Pentacles comes out to really just kind of also define that. Let's be knowledgeable. Let's use the knowledge that we've gained in the world to do the very, very responsible thing that maybe is not the fun thing, but it is the responsible thing. What is just ahead of you is the Queen of Cups. So you're also going to be very emotionally balanced about doing that sort of thing and doing the responsible thing. And that's the big, again, it's like being the adult. It's doing the adult thing, Taurus. Welcome to adulthood. And I don't even mean that if you're a young person. Sometimes it takes people way up in age to get to adulthood. So that's not an age comment. That is just, maybe it's time to do the responsible thing this time. Maybe next time you don't have to, but this time might be what's going on right now. And your advice position is, the Hanged Man, which is a new perspective on this. And of course, again, if you're coming out of this hermit mode, when you're thinking of things and letting things go, and you're going to do things, and you're going to do the mature, responsible thing, you're very close to achieving your goal. This could be that maybe you do have a bigger goal financially, that, maybe you want a vacation property, maybe you want a cabin in the woods somewhere, and you need to make those decisions now, those investment decisions that lead you to that place. And, sometimes you do have to bite the bullet and not do the fun thing. So, your advice is to hold on to that new perspective. Hold on to that new perspective that you've gained in this wisdom time, this time that you've put into thinking about how you want to change things in the future. Hold on to it, hold on to that perspective, and go ahead and let those changes come to fruition. What is beyond your control this week is Two of Swords. So you're not going to make any big decisions. You're going to kind of really, really mull this over. So I like that too. This is being the adult. This is not making that rash decision and doing things very quickly, but you're in this new perspective now. And now you really do have to think of it. You have to think, again, if it's, I'm using this one example. Of course, tarot is a template. It could be so many things for different people, different Tarians out there, but it's this kind of energy. Um, you know, Again, if it's in finances, this could also be about your house. This could be about some home improvement. You were thinking about this, you want to move forward, you're done with the way this thing is, but you want to do the adult thing. This week is not going to be your week for super big decisions. You're in this new perspective, and nothing has to, things come up and you don't have to decide quickly. You can mull things over, and you can make the list, and you can pro and con and kind of mull things. So that's really the energy that card, that's kind of beyond your controls. There's decisions to be made, and we're just not making any yet. You're still gathering information and thinking things through. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is the Six of Pentacles. So, and I feel like, are you trying to avoid, this is kind of our card of feeling like an outsider. And this is going to be your big question of this week. Are you trying to avoid feeling like that? Is there some reason? And again, I get the feeling that, new money comes in, and maybe all your friends are, and again, I'll use the example of a tax return. Maybe they all got their tax returns too, and they are all going to Vegas, and they're like, come to Vegas with it. But you're not making decisions like that. You're in this new perspective. You're going to make these more responsible, measured decisions to get you closer to your goal. And maybe you will feel like an outsider. I don't see that, again, because this is in your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid this week. Again, this is your big question. And is it okay for you to feel like an outsider when it comes to that, and to be a little bit more responsible? Can you sit in that new perspective for a little bit? Again, it's not forever, but maybe it is this time around, this go around. In your outcome position is the Page of Swords. So This is our new path of clarity and our new path of messaging. And this to me is you saying to those friends, again, if that's the example, is it, it might be in a very quiet, meek voice because it's new for you, is no, not this time. Thank you. You guys have a great time in Vegas, but this time I'm putting this money into this investment because I want this vacation house 10 years down the road, right? So it's making those short term sacrifices for the long term outcome, Taurus. So I don't see that being a huge problem for you, Taurus, because you guys are, when you want to do something, you do it. And that's okay. Make those little sacrifices so that you can have the big thing down the road that you want. All right, let's get a final message. And also, this overall general message at the beginning is you're very close to achieving your goal. So if this is something that's going to put you over the edge, again, say no, do the mature thing, and get to where your goal is. You've set those goals, and this reading might just be that reminder for you to just stay on that path. It's okay, you're doing fine. All right, Taurus, let's get a final message here or two. Make no judgments. And again, I'm going to bring back, if that's your friend group, and we're going to make no judgments that that's how they're living their life. You have goals to achieve, and their goals might be different, and that's okay. So we're not going to judge them for their fun Vegas trip that you don't get to go on because you're being so adult-like and responsible. I don't know why that's coming to me as an example for some of you that literally might be spot on. So please leave a comment. Let me know if your friends are planning a trip to Vegas and you're being the responsible one. I would be very curious to hear that. All right. Another message for you, Taurus, is to retreat. Yep. This is not a battle that you're going to fight with your it's just, you just need to retreat into what you've been in, this hermit mode, and you've been thinking about this, and you're making these changes, and they're positive. So again, I don't think that it's no forever, but it's no this time. So Taurus, I really do appreciate your time here with me today, and I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use. Of course, if you're comfortable, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you guys might be going through. That really helps me help you, and I would appreciate that so much. Also, I do post readings every week, so come back next week and we'll see if the situation continues or if there's just a totally new energy here for you. Also, if you like my reading style, of course, please like and subscribe. It really does help my channel, and I appreciate that so much. And it will also help you find me next week, which is the most important thing. So Taurus, thank you again so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.